Jay, what are you doing?
Saw him writing an email to a professional baseball scout about one of our kids.
Show off. All right, I want to make a video. It's 11:13. We just finished our Hampshire Dome inaugural workout. Just got a text from Joe Breen about Albert Pujols. Pujols. Just posted a picture of the dome on Twitter, playing with my new Android phone. Jay's helped me set that up, and we were just we're chatting about our workout tonight, talking about kind of different things that we're looking forward to, and thought it might be fun to post a video about it on YouTube and then Facebook. Right, Jay?
That is absolutely right.
Jay, what did you do with the catchers today?
A lot of basic receiving stuff. Establishing stance.
Sorry, Jay, I can't hear you. Can you speak up? The microphone right here.
It can hear. We're good. Establishing a lot of basics in terms of receiving and catching and stance, and making sure we're balanced, and a lot of stuff like that. Went a little bit into blocking, just getting the new guys caught up with all the other guys.
What's it like for you when you get a new catcher?
Exciting.
Exciting?
It's exciting. Because I know when he leaves that day, he's going to be a different kid. He's going to be a different catcher. Just with little minor tweaks. That's all it was today.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool. Took some kids that literally had no idea what they were doing whatsoever. Made them, at the very least, look pretty solid.
Like no idea according to New England catching camp?
No idea at all. Both of them said they'd never received any instruction whatsoever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was not aware of that.
Yep. No one's ever taught them. They pretty much learned from watching. So, which is good, because I don't have to break any bad habits.
Yeah.
We just start clean, which was good. It was very easy for them to make the transition.
Yeah, something that I've definitely noticed more and more, the more kids that I work with, the kids who are the hardest workers are the hardest to break of their habits.
All their moving patterns have to be changed.
They're too.
It makes sense because
they've bought into it, whatever they've been taught, whatever they've learned.
So many reps behind.
Yeah, there's so much muscle memory to be broken down.
I've been listening to the audiobook, The Talent Code.
Did I listen to it yet?
No.
Definitely didn't.
Wait,
You don't listen to anything.
It's an
It's
audiobook?
like 9 hours.
It's 6 hours.
You said that's an. Oh,
Put on my iPod, man.
I'll listen to that.
When you drive, you listen to books and you get smarter.
I listen to music.
So this whole thing with the Talent Code, it talks about
Intelligence by osmosis. Love it.
Come on. It talks about this chemical in the brain, myelin, that actually releases and insulates the pathways when your brain fires. Myelin sheaths, yeah. It talks about skill as a memory, and it's when people talk about muscle memory, it's literally this myelin has wrapped itself around
We were talking about that.
process that your brain fires.
They talked about that in the Talent is Overrated book.
Yeah, they talked about it in Talent is Overrated. Talent Code gets into it a lot more. Talent is Overrated. It's pretty good. Read it. Or don't. Whatever. If you want to get better, read it. But the Talent Code takes that to a different level.
Yeah.
So when you get all these kids that are high school players, later in their high school career, they've been doing something for a certain way for so long that adding a little nuance to it, adding a little, like tonight we worked on the rocker step with the infielders, for them to try to build that in, as soon as the ball, like they were making good adjustments when we were doing the drill work. And that's why we do so much of the drill work, the short, controlled, things are moving pretty slow. Sometimes I feel like kids get bored with that, but
It needs to be done.
they need to do it slow. They need to give their brain time to process the new information. Because if they don't have the time to do it, it's just going to become rushed, and they're going to revert, and no changes will be made. Yeah. And we see it all the time. I see it with you when you're doing sprint technique and squat technique and all the technical stuff that you go over. It's challenging as instructors to get kids to make adjustments.
With the outfield group, when I only had 4 kids, and 2 of them, we had done a lot of the isolation drills and the the rocker step for the outfield and basic things, but you can tell they haven't been working on them at all because they just reverted back to their old moving patterns. The two new guys that we had no idea what we were doing. They were athletes, so they can kind of get the hang of it, but everything we did was new to them. So, which is interesting to see. You ask them, have you done this before? Have you done this before? No. Over and over again. Like, what have you been doing? What have you been doing?
Yeah, the biggest changes are made when you do stuff and nobody even knows. Those times when you're just maybe in your living room working on your swing, like you get bored, so you stand up and start doing stuff, and you get the feeling like you figure it out.
Yeah.
And like, I always think it's funny because like, ultimately a player's got to be their own best coach. They have to figure it out on their own, and it will feel like they figure it out on their own. And they might even go as far as to discredit coaches that they've had or feel like their other coaches didn't know what they were doing. Ultimately, coaches are trying to get kids into a movement pattern that is efficient and high level. With the infielders tonight, something that I really noticed was a lack of rhythm. The rhythm, it's sequence of balanced movements. Just, I told you the other day the definition of being rushed versus anticipating. Mm-hmm. When you're rushed, your body's one step ahead of your brain. When you're anticipating, your brain is one step ahead of your body. Mm-hmm. And to say that your brain's a step ahead of your body is kind of weird, but I think most players, I want to believe, have had the sensation of the game slowing down. When you take that moment to kind of step back from your body, it's like you get into your own brain. I remember it happened to me all the time during double plays at UVM when Coach Curry would be hitting me fungo after fungo after fungo, and he had that nasty lefty slice, and the ball just kept coming up on me. I might have been getting bad hops, and I just had to slow down my hands. And coaches tell you that all the time, but it's a tough thing to explain and communicate, where you have to slow down and let your brain control what you're doing instead of just going and letting your eyes take over.
I think that has to do with establishing a proper movement pattern so they can, think about it and use imagery and think about it over and over again. When they get out to the field and they're in that same situation, they've been thinking about it so much that it's just there.
Visualization is something I used throughout my career. Got another book over here. This is completely unplanned. Completely unplanned. The Mental Game of Baseball. This thing is beat up. This book traveled with me throughout college and during my brief professional career. This book, they talk about visualization, and I used it all the time. I would have dreams of hitting a home run or feeling a ground ball or making a diving play.
Yeah, your brother wants to be a friend.
There you go. Do it up.
Jay, do you do visualization stuff with your catchers? Or do you...
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
Is that something that you ask them to do?
I could certainly implement it more frequently and often, but it's something I absolutely incorporate into instruction.
What is this?
More so with
Visualization.
having them describe kind of the process of figuring out whether a ball is going into the dirt or not, what they need to do, what they're focusing on, what part of the body. Close your eyes and tell me what exactly you're looking at right now. That type of stuff.
Yeah.
But it could certainly be used more often and probably expanding implementation of it.